everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the Detroit Lions' future without Matthew Stafford, and also what we could be looking for in a trade for Matthew Stafford, plus the Lions' salary cap situation without Matthew Stafford. So let's get it started. Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, man, it kind of hurt. Look, I'm wearing the Stafford shirt. I didn't even mean to do that today. Well, here's the thing. I'll say this. Okay, so I get up, right? And I'm grabbing my clothes, and I grab the Stafford shirt, and I'm putting it on, like, and you know, you just pause for a second. I just paused for a second. And obviously I was going to wear it, but I just thought to myself, I'm like, I hope this isn't the thing that happens every time I put on a Stafford shirt, but I kind of expect this to happen. Like, as soon as I picked it, I was like, I kind of just thought about it, man, this will be a different jersey next year. I don't know. It just was kind of weird. But I put it on. I'm wearing it. I'm obviously representing. And it works perfect for today's video as we discuss the future of the Detroit Lions without Matthew Stafford and what that means for the salary, for trades, everything like that. So let's just dive right into this. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the post by Kelly Stafford on her Instagram with Matthew Stafford. Now, Stafford doesn't have his own Instagram, so Kelly Stafford kind of posts everything over there, and she discussed her time in Michigan. It was kind of a sad little post, a little sentimental post, but they said, you know, you'll be hearing from us again once we figure out what the future holds. But yeah, I don't know if you guys did. Definitely go check it out if you have Instagram. It's on Kelly Stafford's. If I have it, I'll put a screenshot on the screen right now. But let's discuss the Detroit Lions salary cap situation first. The reason is because a couple of people have actually asked me what the Lions salary cap is going to look like without Matthew Stafford and what it looks like right now. So I want to explain what I know, because I don't know everything. There's still a lot of things also that are up in the air. But I want to tell you guys what I know so far about the salary cap heading into this offseason and into the season. So let's just dive right into it. This offseason, we know it's going to be a lower salary cap because of the COVID stuff, okay? Because of all the COVID stuff, the league, it's going to have to be lower. The salary cap is going to have to be lower, which could mean more backloaded contracts, maybe less franchise tags. It's going to be different. And teams, maybe less monster signings. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I think it's going to be a lot of backloaded contracts. But the NFL decided to put the floor at $175 million for the cap. That is the floor for the NFL, which is $23 million lower than it was last season. So it's still a pretty low floor. But if $175 million is the case, which I think is pretty much expected at this point, if that is the case, the Lions would have $4.4 million in cap space. That's the most recent number that I've seen. Now you're thinking 4.4, what the heck? That's terrible. Now, I don't know if these numbers are exact. I've seen a couple different numbers, but 4.4 is the one I've seen according to Over the Cap. So you're thinking that's bad. But in reality, that's actually not bad. It's actually the best in the NFC North in terms of salary cap. We would be in the most comfortable situation where other teams could potentially be forced to cut players. That's kind of the issue right now with the salary cap. Now, there are certain teams that have a lot of money, but we're right in the middle of the pack was expected to have 4.4. I mean, we're at 17th in the league, and it's the best in the NFC North. So even though it doesn't sound good, it's actually not awful compared to a lot of other teams in the league. Now, how will that change once Matthew Stafford is traded? Well, there will be a big change. So once Matthew Stafford is traded, there's going to be a $9 million dead cap for the Detroit, $19 million dead cap trading away Matthew Stafford, which basically means you're paying that money, but he's not here. So, yeah, that's tough to lose that. It'd be more if we would have cut him, but it's tough to lose that. However, you do free up $14 million in cap space, which is nice, especially if it's going to be low. I mean, you take all the money you can get, I guess. So you do save $14 million in cap space for this offseason or for this season. Now, what's interesting about this is I think other teams around the league will actually like his contract situation because, to be honest with you, it's not bad. If you're looking at teams that believe they can be contenders in the next 2 years and that want to make that Super Bowl push, so they want to make a trade for Stafford, looking at his contract, you can make that work. Teams can find a way to make this work. It's not so much money where it's just like we can't find a way to trade for him. I think it's very possible. So for 2021, though, the team, whoever trades for him, paying him $20 million. And for 2022, $23 million, which actually isn't a lot. I mean, that's less than what he's making with the Lions, and he was 13th in the league this year. So that's not a lot of money for a team that wants to go make it happen right now. They feel like they have most of the roster there, maybe a couple of tweaks, but if they land that quarterback, they can go make that Super Bowl push. And they have that little window to make it happen for at least the next 2 years when Stafford is under contract. That, to me, that contract is going to make some teams interested because it's not like some gigantic $40 million deal where it's like, well, dang, we're going to have to get rid of all these players to bring him in. You may have to make some tweaks to your roster to bring him in, like the Steelers, who aren't in the best salary cap financial situation, and it's kind of difficult because of the COVID. but it's not awful. So I actually think, it's not a bad deal for a lot of teams that are looking to trade for him. So that's the salary cap side of things. That's what I know. I just kind of wanted to explain that first. Now, what I want to talk about is the future with the Detroit Lions. I've discussed this in my live stream, and I'm not going to go into details of who I'd bring in yet and things like that, but I do want to discuss my overview of how I would go about things heading into this offseason. So, Matthew Stafford's going to get traded away. I don't know what we're going to get in return. All right, I'm seeing reports that the Lions should at least get a first-round pick. The trade scenarios I've seen are the Lions getting a first, like a third, and maybe a next-year pick, or a first, a fourth, and a player. Like, they're good returns. That's a really nice return for Matthew. That's the scenarios I'm seeing. I don't know what they're going to get. As a Lions fan, we have to hope that because there's about half the league that could be interested in Matthew Stafford, about half of them, and there's at least a handful of teams that would like to go make it happen because they believe they can go make a push with him, you have to hope that there's going to be some sort of bidding war where teams are just kind of upping one another, and that number just keeps going up, and the value just keeps going up for Stafford. That's the hope, is that we can these teams keep going back and forth, and we can just get a monster haul in return, because we only do have 5 draft picks. So if we get a monster haul, that would be great. Now, the Lions right now, they need a monster haul. They just say it like it is. They need a monster haul. I mean, I don't know how this coaching staff for GM is going to do. I hope they do great, and I hope they get to stay here for a while. Stafford be traded away, Sheila Ford Hamp, and, the ownership doesn't rush to just fire them. Because I think what's been an issue with Detroit, again, I talk about this stuff in the stream, but I think what's been an issue with Detroit is they know they've had a great quarterback, right? Sheila Ford Hamp, the owners, they know they've had a great quarterback. That's why they haven't put him on the market. It hasn't been like, hey, we're looking to trade Stafford. That never has happened. I think what they are seeing is that we have a great quarterback, and we can't build around him, just like anyone sees that wants to look at anything statistically. We can't build around him. So I think they would put the pressure on those coaches and the GMs and be like, okay, it's 3 years. We're not winning. We got to move on. We don't have enough time. We can't waste time with this. And they've been doing that about 3 to 4 times with Matthew Stafford. And now it's at the point where Stafford going on 33 years old, he's like, hey, I want to request a trade. This isn't working. All right. I want to go get a shot to win. So I respect that side of it. Absolutely. I respect that. That was an issue with the Lions. And maybe that's the reason why they were firing guys so quickly, is because they knew they had the great quarterback. They were just worried about waiting and wasting time on a guy that, wasn't able to find results quickly. Obviously, some of that comes down to making the wrong hires. If you make better hires, then maybe, they do have more success way quicker. But I'm hoping that now that Matthew Stafford's traded, we're able to stick to this, because that's something that we've absolutely lacked, is that consistency. On the Detroit Lions, what is my plan heading into this offseason? All right, Matthew Stafford's going to be gone. You're going to get some trade assets in return. Okay, you're going to save a little bit of money. What is my plan? Because you can't run the ball. You have the worst defense in the league last season, and you don't have a quarterback, and you don't have a top 5 pick. What is my plan this offseason? Well, here's my plan. My plan is I'm not going to give away the farm to make sure I go find another quarterback and replace Stafford with another great quarterback. To me, that doesn't make any sense. No point in giving away Stafford, then giving up tons of assets to another team to grab another good quarterback and put him into this absolute dumpster fire. Now, I don't know what Brad Holmes or how well Dan Campbell's going to do. Maybe they come in and they show that, yeah, they can build a rushing attack, and they can build a defense, and they can get players to buy in, and they can get the best out of the players that are already here. And they could have built a team with Matthew Stafford. But all I know is for the last 12 years, not one regime has shown me that they can build around Matthew Stafford consistently. And some of that has to do with the Lions firing those guys, and some of that has to do with not making the right hiring. But no one has shown me that. I knew that this current regime, or if we kept the last regime, and if I knew they could do that, then we'd be in a position like the 49ers or those teams that are interested and wanting to make that big push to go bring in a quarterback. And in that case, Matthew Stafford may not want to be out because, well, they would be a playoff team. But if I knew they could do that, then maybe I'd go make a push for a quarterback, or I'd probably just keep Matthew Stafford then, because he'd probably want to stay here. I have no reason to believe that they can. Even though everyone's different, and I hope they can, I want to give them the best opportunity to make this rebuild happen instead of taking away any assets, because I have been shown that I need to give them more assets than usual. Best chance to make this happen. Here's where I would sign a vet quarterback or a bridge quarterback, whatever you call it. It would be a younger guy. Let's use a guy like Jameis Winston, for example. Okay, Winston is young enough where I feel like if you loved him, and again, I'm not saying we should do Jameis Winston. He's just an example because everybody knows Jameis Winston. But he's young enough where I look at a guy like Jameis where if you loved him, you could actually build around him, and it would make sense to build around a guy like that for the future. Me signing a 38-year-old quarterback that is not going to be for the future, to me, doesn't make sense. This team's not good enough right now. As we're at right now, we'll see how it goes next year. But as right now, it's not good enough for a 38-year-old quarterback to make us a playoff team. All right, I'd rather just play the young guy at that point. If I'm going to sign a really old guy to mentor my young quarterback, then he better be extremely cheap. You're probably cutting Chase Daniel because they already got him. So you might as well, if you don't want Chase Daniel and you want a different vet for whatever reason, then cut Chase, sign a dude to a $1 or $2 million deal. I'm not paying $10 million for a 38-year-old quarterback. That's too much money. I'm wasting money there because he's not my future. I'm focused on the future now. All right? You don't have a defense, you don't have a run game, you don't have a quarterback. I'm focused on the future. So if you want to pay a guy like Jameis, like $5 to $6 million, okay, I see that because at least he has a shot to be the future. Or at least he has a chance. Teddy Bridgewater had a chance to be the future with Carolina. Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't have the chance to be the future. He's not. The dude's too old at this point. And he'll probably cost too much. If he's $1 to $2 million, I consider it. If he's $10 million, heck no. I need every penny I can save. This offseason, because of COVID, we ain't going to have a lot of money to play with. And we got a lot of things we need to fix. I'm keeping every penny I absolutely can. Out this clean slate, as much as I hope Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes can do this, I'm not going to bank on the fact that they're going to be able to do it when no one else has been able to. I'm going to go a different route here. I'm not spending all my money. Here's the thing. For Deshaun Watson, let's use Watson as an example. Would I trade for Watson? No, I would not trade for Watson. To me, trading for Watson makes no sense. All right, you have a great quarterback in Matthew Stafford. And the Lions knew they had a great quarterback, like I mentioned. That's why they didn't put him on the block before. You have this great quarterback in Stafford. You could never build around him. You never put a rushing attack around him. You never put a defense around him aside from one season. So why would I give up assets that I just got in return for Matthew and give it to Deshaun Watson to bring in another great quarterback? Look, I have nothing against Watson. I'm not saying Watson's not a great quarterback. He's great. In certain teams, he'll fit with. Why would I give away any extra trade assets? Why would I spend more money on a quarterback when I can't do anything? No quarterback's going to be successful. You know how I know that Watson won't be successful in the dumpster fire we put out last season? Because he won 4 games with the Texans, who are better at defense, who were just as bad, if not better, at rushing the football as we were. So why would I give away assets, give away all of this to bring in that quarterback? That doesn't make any sense. Because you haven't proven to me that with regular draft picks, the Lions have not shown me that with regular draft picks, they can build a team. They can build a rushing attack and they can build a defense. They haven't shown me with one pick in every round, with a quarterback making just above average, that you can build a team. So if I'm going to clean the slate, I'm cleaning the slate completely. Taking basically an opposite approach because I'm not going to reach to force my way onto a quarterback. That's defense. That's the rushing attack. Heck, that's even weapons. I'm building a supporting cast that a quarterback can fit into very well, and he's going to be comfortable with, and it'll make the quarterback better. Instead of the quarterback trying to make everybody else better because everything else is bad, it's the supporting cast makes my quarterback better. So I'm learning from my mistakes. If you look at any numbers, if you take just the basic look at any numbers, it's pretty simple. You couldn't run and you couldn't play defense. So I'm taking all these assets that I acquired from Stafford. I'm taking any money that I save for Matthew, and I'm focusing on fixing those two things. What am I doing for quarterback? I'm drafting a quarterback most likely. Unless there's one free agency that you think, is going to be a leader of this team and is the future. I'm drafting one. I'm drafting a quarterback. Does that mean I'm taking at 7? No. If I love a guy at 7, I'm taking him at 7. If I love a guy and I think he could go at 4, I'd trade up to go get him. But I'm not just going to rush it because I need it. I'm not going to look at the roster and say, well, we need a quarterback, so let's just take the best available and hopefully it works. That's not what I'm doing. I'm drafting my quarterback based on what Brad Holmes said he looks for in players. Intangibles. I need a leader. Johnny Manziel versus Baker Mayfield is a very simple thing. Baker Mayfield is a leader. Johnny Manziel is not. Manziel made all these flashy plays. Look at him now. Baker Mayfield wasn't maybe as flashy, but that guy was a leader. Was he emotional? Yeah. But he was a leader in his own way. He led Oklahoma, and now he's leading the Cleveland Browns. He is a leader for their organization. He's the face of that franchise, and he's leading it right now. I need a leader. I need a guy with those intangibles. I don't need a guy that's making all these great, awesome, cool, hey, well, look at that play. If he can't lead my team, that's not what I want. I don't want an off-the-field distraction. I want a guy that leads my team the right way. Off-the-field distractions at quarterback don't work. My goal is to take a different approach. It's to learn from my mistakes. It's to not rush it. Just because I'm sitting at 7, I need a quarterback doesn't mean I'm taking the best available. If that's not who I love and I think could build for the future, then I'm passing. I'm waiting till the second round, the third round, until I have that guy that I really like in the draft. I don't care if you take him at 7 or 30. Doesn't make a difference. Because odds are, no matter who you draft, you're going to miss on it. Odds are you're missing on that draft pick, especially if it's a quarterback. Odds are no matter where you take him in the draft, you're missing on that quarterback. So I don't care where you take it. 7, 30, 50 doesn't make a difference to me. If you don't love a guy at 7, why would you reach for a quarterback when you've already shown that even with a great quarterback, which you're basically guaranteed that no matter who you draft, because it's not going to be Lawrence, will not be better than what Matthew was last season or the year before that or the year before that. So why would I reach on any quarterback just to fill out the position when I can't play defense or run the ball? I'm fixing that first. You have bad quarterbacks winning playoff games. because they have a team. You have a guy in Trubisky who won the division before Matthew. And I don't want to hear the salary. Well, that's because Mitchell Trubisky didn't trade less. Yes, he was. But not even the Bears want Mitchell Trubisky back. That guy was awful. And you won a division with him. Stafford was making just above average as a quarterback. He was 13th in quarterback salary. And you have guys like Mahomes, who's making $45 million. I know Mahomes is great, but he's making $45 million. And the things that he doesn't control, running the ball, playing defense, they're better at than we are. How is that the case? Because you can't build a rushing attack and you can't build a defense. Fix that first. Look at Ryan Tannehill. Look at what he's done in Tennessee with the rushing attack and with the defense. Look at Baker Mayfield from 2019 to 2020. The guy has a down 2019. Oh, is he the future? What about Case Keenum? He could take his job. 2020 comes around. This team's a playoff team. Because now they can run the ball so well, it takes so much pressure off of him. And a young quarterback, you're going to want to take pressure off him. You don't want to throw a young quarterback because, look, I know the record doesn't show 0-16. I know it shows 5-11, but you're an 0-16 team. You know how I know that? Because in 2019, you didn't win a game with him, and you were a better defense and a better rushing team. Unless you start building around him. And I'm not talking 500 weapons. You can grab weapons. I'm all good with spending money on weapons to help out the quarterback. But I'm talking a running game and a defense. That's what football's about. And Dan Campbell, Anthony Lynn, Deuce Staley, I think that there is reason to believe that they can do that. But that's my focus. My message to the Lions. Don't just reach because the quarterback is in need. Fix the issues. Learn from your mistakes with Matthew. Odds are, with the picks we have right now, we will not be able to build a rushing attack or a defense. Because no one's been showing me they've been able to do it aside from 1 year in 2014 when he had a good defense. And then it fell off after that. No one's shown me they've been able to do it. So I'm taking every asset that I can acquire. All the money that I can save from Stafford's trade. Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl. You can win a Super Bowl with a average quarterback. We know that. Dan Campbell told us that. If he can win a Super Bowl and Matthew Stafford can't win a playoff game, it shows you straight, just right there, that one player is not going to win you a Super Bowl in football. It's never happened. It never will happen. You got to have a team around him. Anybody watch the NFC Championship game? Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions and won versus Green Bay on the road. He threw 3 picks. That guy was not sharp, but it didn't matter. Did not matter because the team is good enough to go take him to the Super Bowl. Stafford plays well against Tennessee, and we get smacked. We gave up 46 points to the Titans, and he plays a good game. And it's not even competitive versus the Titans. And they're not even in the playoffs anymore. This team got knocked out by the Ravens. So we're getting smacked by the Titans with a quarterback who's playing well. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are having a quarterback play not very good and winning the NFC Championship. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's take a look at Chase Daniel for a second. Chase Daniel, he's the perfect example of a backup quarterback. He's not going to elevate your team, but his job is to not basically lose you the game, right? He's like a game manager. He's going to keep you in it. And if your team's good enough, you can pull out the win. He's not going to do anything spectacular. It's not going to make your team better. He just wanted someone that wouldn't lose the game for us, basically. He was with Chicago. You remember Chase Daniel came in and beat us, right? Chase Daniel, beat the Lions. I think it was on Thanksgiving. He was like, dang, man, we got beat by a bad quarterback. And then when he subs in against Tampa Bay, because Stafford only throws 3 passes that game and then he comes out, we lose 47-7. We didn't score an offensive touchdown. We had that punt return. We would have lost that game 47-0 without Jamal Agnew having a punt return. 47-0 on primetime. And Chase Daniel was the quarterback, the same quarterback that beat us. That's how bad we are as a team right now. Chase Daniel had nothing to rely on. He wasn't going to elevate or make anybody better. So we couldn't run the ball. We couldn't stop anybody. He would have had to elevate everybody out there. Stafford could do that. Daniel's not that guy. And that's what a vet, I feel like most vets are going to do for you. They're not going to elevate you that much. They may elevate you a little bit. But a quarterback won't save this mess because we've already seen it can't. We got to fix the mess. Since 12 years of the inability to show me that you can build it with a good quarterback, I'm saying forget it. Everything I can add, I am putting it towards fixing the run game and building a defense. Learning from what we could not do with Matthew. It's learning how in the world we're not playoff team with this great of a quarterback when other bad teams are making it with bad quarterbacks. Oh, we couldn't run, we couldn't play D. Fine. Everything I got is going towards that. And it's going to get better. I don't care what the quarterback position looks like. Give me a leader, that's all I need. I don't need the best quarterback by consensus. Oh, he's the best. I don't care what the consensus says. The consensus is wrong 95% of the time on what the quarterbacks are going to be, because most of the time you're missing. Like Houston struggled with a great quarterback, Deshaun, and just like Ryan Tannehill can look incredible at Tennessee, Marcus Mariota is now a backup quarterback for the Raiders. This guy could win in playoff games with the Tennessee Titans. How does that happen? Minnesota Vikings, Case Keenum, went farther in the playoffs than Kirk Cousins could. Case Keenum is now a backup in Cleveland. Every place you look, it's the same. And the Lions, I just hope that they're able to say, okay, now is our opportunity. Now is our shot to do this the right way. Had a chance to do it because you finally struck gold. You got so lucky you found a great quarterback and you blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You never put anything around him. And now Stafford's asking you to get out. And it stinks. But at least now you get an opportunity to say, let's learn from this. Don't give up everything we have to try to replace a great player, because likely it's not going to happen. And even if you do, it won't matter. You can win with average quarterback play if you can run the ball and play defense. Stafford, when he gets put on a good team or an average team, this team is going to be a Super Bowl contender because he's that good. Trubisky can win a divisional title, then I guarantee that most of the quarterbacks in this draft can find a way to win me a divisional title. That tells me I can win a division in the NFC North with awful quarterback play. For us, we have not proven that with normal picks, we can win a playoff game, that we can win a division with what normally people pick with. The Rams, on the other hand, they're taking second-round picks and they're winning playoff games. They're going to Super Bowls. They got second-round picks every year. We got first-round picks and we can't do it. So forget it. Take everything I got and put it towards fixing that. And we'll find the quarterback along the way. We'll find the leader along the way that can lead an organization. Doesn't need to be the most talented or most exciting or the best runner or the best. I need a leader, but I need to put a supporting cast around him. Every single place you look, that argument continues to get reinforced. With bad quarterbacks winning because they have good tests. With bad performances from Tom Brady, but it doesn't matter. They still find a way to win on the road in Lambeau. It's Aaron Rodgers, who plays well, and he's making a case for MVP. There's no way. There's no way in heck that's not my focus this offseason. That's all I'm doing. I'm focusing on that. And I'll find a quarterback. But I'm not reaching to say, let's just go replace him. No. Take everything I got and fix this team.